I have the distinct honor in delivering brief remarks as we officially launch our observance of Diplomatic Week 2019. And I believe that it is fortuitous that our Prime Minister is here with us, because it is under his leadership as Minister of Foreign Affairs that we started this journey of Diplomatic Week, I believe, back in 2007 when I was just a boy. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which I have the privilege to lead, is pleased to welcome you, our diplomats and consular officers, our development partners, and most of whom are present from a cadre of countries with whom we have established diplomatic relations. Other specially invited guests, of course, we welcome you to this week of activities. We hope that you will take advantage of the numerous opportunities for building new partnerships and strengthening areas where those partnerships currently exist. A special welcome is extended to those among us who would have presented their letters of credence to our head of state only yesterday. I am pleased to recognize His Excellency Stefan Weidinger, Ambassador of Austria to St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Kaha Imnadze, Ambassador of the Republic of Georgia to St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Daniel Bira, Ambassador of Israel to St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Massimo Ambrosetti, Ambassador of Italy to St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Nguyen Trung Tang, Ambassador of Vietnam to St. Kitts and Nevis, and Her Excellency Lumka Yengini, High Commissioner of the Republic of South Africa to St. Kitts and Nevis. We hope that you will find this week of activities most rewarding as you commence your tour of duty with specific reference to St. Kitts and Nevis. By the same token, yet on a much sadder note, we would like to reflect briefly on the life and contribution of some members of our diplomatic and consular corps who have gone to the great beyond. Since we last observed Diplomatic Week in March of 2016, we have regrettably lost His Excellency Cedric Harper, St. Kitts and Nevis High Commissioner to Jamaica, Mr. Reginald Armory, Honorary Consul for Austria in St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Peter Anna, Honorary Consul for St. Kitts and Nevis in Germany, Dr. Winston Isaac, Honorary Consul for St. Kitts and Nevis in Toronto, and Mr. Jackie Kramer, Honorary Consul for Israel in St. Kitts and Nevis. I invite you please to stand and observe a minute's silence in memory of their service in their respective diplomatic or consular sphere of duty. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been busy laboring in the proverbial vineyard in pursuit of our goals. Since our last observance of Diplomatic Week in March of 2016, our records reflect that we have established diplomatic relations with 31 countries. In most cases, our embassies and our missions have played a vital role in assisting our government to fulfill its objective of increasing its diplomatic footprint as we engage our development partners on a daily basis. Our chosen theme for Diplomatic Week 2019, Securing a Resilient Future Through Strategic Diplomacy and Effective Dialogue, is reflective of our instinctive vision to pursue our national development objectives utilizing the tools at our disposal, including strategic engagement with our development partners. In short, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis is ever cognizant of its responsibility to leverage its engagement with our development partners in pursuit of achieving sustainable development in all of its dimensions. Securing a resilient future is indeed one of these broad development objectives. And so we are most delighted to have you share with us in this week of activities. As I reflect on the current situation, where small states like St. Kitts and Nevis and the rest of the Caribbean community find themselves, I am led to think of the famous quote by Charles Dickens in his seminal novel, A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. On one hand, our success in economic, human and social development gives us much to celebrate. While on the other, our vulnerability to external and exogenous economic shocks and natural disasters poses a constant threat to those development gains which I have just highlighted. The recent cluster of meetings held by the highest decision-making bodies of CARICOM and the OECS underscore the need to remain engaged with all stakeholders as we tackle challenges which span a wide gamut of subject areas, be they economic, political, social, or environmental in nature. The range of issues include, but is not limited to, blacklisting, the loss of correspondent banking relationships through the process of de-risking, the loss of access to finance at concessional rates in international financial markets, attacks on our citizenship by investment programs, adaptation to and mitigation in respect of climate change, non-communicable diseases, and crime and violence. In the face of all of these challenges, we are expected to meet our treaty and other international obligations, including the CARICOM single market and economy, sustainable development goals at the level of the United Nations, and the Marrakesh Agreement embodied in the World Trade Organization, to name but a few. The challenges, ladies and gentlemen, for small island states and for microstates like St. Kitts and Nevis are enormous. But we remain resolute in our thrust to face them strategically, using diplomacy and effective dialogue, as reflected in our theme for this week of activities. We should never underestimate the value of effective dialogue and strategic engagement. The current case of blacklisting by the European Union provides a clear case in point. It is undeniable that blacklisting has wrought considerable reputational damage to our region. There are consequential implications for our programs to build our respective economies and meet our sustainable development objectives. The time is ripe for us to accelerate our level of dialogue at the diplomatic and political levels, in the bilateral and multilateral spheres, to find creative solutions to challenges such as blacklisting and de-risking. Dialogue creates an enabling environment for increased understanding of current economic, social, and political realities within the respective jurisdictions of all stakeholders. One need only think of the devastation wrought on our fellow Caribbean nation of Dominica a mere 2 years ago by Hurricane Maria, where over 200% of their GDP was wiped out in less than 24 hours. And yet today, less than 2 years later, Dominica has been blacklisted by the EU. We are of the view that stakeholders in the European Union could benefit greatly from a better appreciation that small, vulnerable economies like St. Kitts and Nevis, and dare I add Dominica, are not rich, exotic tax havens, where wealthy Europeans may evade taxes and store their wealth away from the coffers of the respective member states of the EU. We are sovereign states with our responsibilities and challenges like every member of the international community. We are committed to good governance. We are committed to the rule of law. We are committed to the principles of democracy. Indeed, we have worked collaboratively with the OECD in advancing its tax and good governance agenda. I pause again to say that the OECD with which we have worked and which is and has an inclusive framework has been the yardstick that has measured us in terms of our tax transparency. The EU, now a hemispheric body to which we are not members and not invited to be members, has come up with this notion of OECD++. We are unclear and unsure what the plus means. But I believe that this entire episode underscores the need for us to have international standards accepted by all and applicable to all. I am delighted to highlight that a recent visit to Romania by a delegation of CARICOM foreign ministers provided a wonderful opportunity for us to express our concerns regarding the process and implementation of the EU blacklisting program. This visit was strategic in light of the fact that Romania currently holds the chairmanship of the European Union and its Financial Council. We are hopeful that our lobbying and outreach efforts to appeal to reasonable minds within the EU will lead them to change their approach to constructive engagement and dialogue, leading to a win-win outcome for all parties. The latter scenario fits squarely in the best of times portion of the famous quote by Dickens. Indeed, we have the power at our disposal to make the best of the opportunities available to us. I submit that Diplomatic Week 2019 presents another opportunity for us to engage in strategic dialogue in furtherance of greater understanding and ultimately the advancement of humanity. Accordingly, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure for me to meet most of you yesterday in bilateral meetings. It was also a pleasure to commix and commingle with you at the residence of our Governor General. I look forward to opportunity for further engagement throughout the course of this week. This week also gives us cause to celebrate our strong bonds of friendship with embassies which we serve as hosts. We would like to recognize the Republic of China on Taiwan, our dear friends, the Embassy of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, the Embassy of the Republic of Cuba, and the Embassy of the Federative Republic of Brazil, all of which have a home here in Bastia. We are indeed proud of the relationship which we have established over the decades, and certainly look forward to many more years of productive engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, in delivering these brief remarks, it would be remiss of me if I failed to encourage you to partake in the more leisurely activities planned for you on both islands. The old adage, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, holds true in this regard. I look forward to hosting you tomorrow on the sister island of Nevis, where I have the honor to serve as Premier. You will be pleased to know that we have planned a slate of exciting activities for you there. We say in Nevis that you're only a stranger once, and when you come to St. Kitts and Nevis, you have the benefit of two islands, one paradise. Once again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I take great pleasure and pride in welcoming you to Diplomatic Week 2019. Thank you, and God bless you.